One of the things I think was a giant factor in the fight is that you have been in wars. You've been in a bunch of wars.
Yeah.
And Ilia really had only had some rough moments against Jai Herbert. Yusuf Zalal gave him some problems, but it was nothing serious. The wars that you've been in, these just down and dirty brawls that you've been in, you're comfortable with the back and forth. You're comfortable with enduring. You know that you're not going to break. If your body holds up, you're going to keep fighting and you can endure. I don't think he'd ever experienced that before. So when you didn't break in the second round, and I think he made a mistake, and I think you're correct about that. You said he made a mistake by going to the ground.
Absolutely.
And then he hurt you to the body.
I told Trevor yesterday, I think, him hurting to my body was the reason, one of the main reasons I won. When he hit me, when I dropped, it wasn't the first time he hit me in the body. That was probably like the fourth or fifth one. And he had landed some really clean shots, and he could probably sense that I was in trouble and hurt. And I think that fact made him dump everything because it was his last chance to take me out. And he almost did take me out. But when I went down, in hindsight, it's always easy to make these decisions in hindsight. But when I went down, he's had way more submissions than he has knockouts. And so for him not to have that belief that he's going to be able to go down there, especially with the Khabib fight, especially with the Charles Oliveira fight, especially with all the negativity around my grappling, I think he would have been foolish not to, because I would have stood back up. And he would have charged forward, tried to finish me. I would have jumped on his legs. I would have pulled guard. He was going to end up on top of me no matter what. I wasn't going to sit there and trade with him again. Like, I would have, front rolled into grappling situations or whatever. I would have made him cover me. But I think me getting hit is what made him completely blow his, Shane Carwin-esque, blow his tank.
Yeah.
And, go for the win. And I think that was the choice he had to make because it was going to continue to get worse. I beat his ass in the first round. Like, it might have been close on the scorecards. I absolutely took the first round, but the amount of damage that I inflicted in the first round set up the rest of the fight.
I do think it was a mistake. And you're saying, what you're saying is so correct. But what I'm saying is from a standpoint of him demanding it, he's going to finish you in the first two. Understanding the damage that he was taking, he took big risks. He got in there. He kept his hands on your collarbones. He was landing really good shots. Yeah, the two body shots before that left hook to the liver, that the sound it made was crazy. That last one was clean. It was precise and deep, but you could tell it was already there. But if he didn't put that pressure on himself, and this is what I mean by mistake, is like when you come out, you have to know that you're going 5 rounds. And he knew that he had to unleash everything right there. If he would have been smart in that scenario saying, hey, we got 5 rounds, let me step back a little bit, let me do some damage. But also he's like, hey, let me get you out of there quick. Justin, can't grapple, can't do all these things what a lot of people think, which Justin's a great grappler. And what was so smart about you is when you get tired, that's where the worst decisions happen. That's one of my big things as coaching is we get someone tired and then we make them make bad decisions and then we capitalize on those mistakes. Justin was able to stay so composed here with being speared to the body. And when you take a liver shot, it is way different than the headshot. A headshot's like taking a shot with your buddies at the bar. It's like, hey, let's go. But you take a body shot, you're dying. Like your liver shot, you feel like you're dying. And Justin, all the decisions he made on the ground, from the triangle, from the armbar, from not being flat, so many good decisions were made in that scenario, and I do think it was a mistake. Obviously, there's so many different ways it could go, but those type of moments in fights are what make fights great, is overcoming obstacles. And he had set that up. He had said it. He's like, hey, I'm going to overcome anything. I'm going out there to put the worst thing out there. Like, what are you going to do to me? I've already been knocked out the last second of a freaking huge fight by Max. Like, you can't do nothing worse to me. And that mindset, I think, is something to take away for all the fighters out there. That always, I love how you say it, expect a war, always.